Afternoon, we're at ISE 2020 where we're joined with James from Kordz, and he's going to tell us a bit about cables and why you should use good quality cables.
Well, the one thing we talk about, hi everyone. The one thing we stress with the quality of cables is you should always look for product that is well engineered. There's many cable brands out there that talk about video and audio quality. And to us, yes, you can mostly experience those, but they're kind of intangible. They're not something that you can really measure. So Kordz as a company, we really focus on the engineering and what the product actually needs to do. So let me give you a few examples. And a lot of you guys are using network cable, and you might buy a lot of this kind of stuff on the reel. And you'll strip the wire, and you'll buy the connectors, and you'll go and terminate yourself. Now, if you have a look at some of the terminations, and I'll show you two of these that we've had people come and do. So if you have a look at this one close, we'll just have a look at this focus. You see how that cable's been made, but it's really all scrambled in between? So one of the things we really want to focus on is the shielding aspect of a cable. Now, this one here, this one's a lot better. Why is that one a lot better? Well, for one, the jacket is almost all the way to the pins. So the twist rate going all the way to the pins, right at the top here, is going to protect the signal and stop that from going awry. So they're the things that we're looking at. And then some of the other things, when in our professional space, we use like hundreds of thousands of these. So you're looking at different colors. They actually look at, some people might use yellow for audio visual, black because it looks nice. We've got people that use grey for voice over IP. Here's your data network one. Here's your fire and safety one. So to be able to categorize all of this allows for us to manage it properly. If we have a fault, we can track it more easily. And also, we're also looking at the flexibility aspect. How much ventilation are we getting around equipment? So there's many things. And we also talk about the different shielding category. A lot of us have experienced the dreaded, I call it the Netflix dial, plug to Netflix. But that's because the resolutions are going so much higher. We actually want more and more bandwidth. So the data coming in, we're not using it exclusively for us. When it comes into a building, we're sharing it. And any little kink in the cable, any little shielding breakage, connectors that are much better, that are well shielded using a shielded cable, will protect a lot. So thanks for coming to ISE, all of you, virtually, and hearing me prattle on. And you want me to talk about these?
Yeah.
Okay. So Mike's just asked me to talk about our series of HDMI cables. So some of the things we specialise in HDMI cables is we make product that's fit for purpose. We look at flexibility. Again, we look at pull strength. So our passive HDMI cables have got a 30 kilo pull strength, so that allows you to pull it through walls without damage to the actual cable itself. The other thing we look at is the size of the connector. Is it actually going to go through the conduit, or is it going to fit behind that projector? The connectors, we have different connectors. Let me just pull these protectors off. This particular product is our standard professional use product. High flexibility, 4K support. It uses a die-cast plastic, so that there's no injection over the actual contacts themselves. Why don't we injection over the contacts? Because when we actually make the cable, the soldering process is at approximately 187 degrees. When you injection mold, you're injection molding at over 200 degrees. So what happens to that process? You start to get delamination. So what you made good, you've just undone with the covering. So that's why we never injection mold over any of our contacts. And that just makes sense electrically. We have a marine grade magnesium die-cast connector. That's metal, it's 18 millimeters wide, so it fits through really nicely through conduit. We have our own specific 3 kilo connector. That means that you need at least 3 kilograms of force to pull out. How many times have you moved your laptop or swept around a set-top box and the connectors just come out a little bit, not enough for you to see, but the system doesn't work and you've nearly torn your hair out for 2 hours trying to figure it out. Well, these are the things that, prevent that from happening. So, I'll go on and on and on and on.
All right.
So thank you for the opportunity.
Cool. Well, thanks, James. So you can see that there are differences between HDMI cables. Kordz puts a lot of thought into the actual applications and the use of these cables, and they have a whole range of solutions for Cat6, Cat6a, HDMI, audio RCAs, optical cables, and raw cable as well. So thanks, James. I hope you have a good show.